And so if I want to pick up AI Arena and play it today, where can I play it?
Yeah, so right now we have like a whitelisting
Mhm.
process. So we're in closed beta still, where we haven't opened up the beta to the public. And so the way is just join our Discord and just express interest, and then we periodically funnel people into the closed beta for them to test out the game and give us feedback.
Gotcha. So basically, check out Discord to start there. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, perfect, brilliant. And again, this might be kind of the buzzwords again. So Web 2 and Web 3 and stuff.
yeah.
There is Web 3 involved with your game, is that right? Or you're pushing that way, is that correct?
So we essentially have two streams of our game.
Hmm.
We don't want to push Web3 on people that don't want it, essentially. So we have a completely like call it more traditional version of the game that has no blockchain elements, right? They can just play the game, compete against their friends,
Yeah.
and yeah, just enjoy the game. We do have a Web3 version, which is basically call it like the pro tier. And the reason we call it the pro tier is because we used Web3 to actually administer rewards. And the reason for this is I used to be in finance, so I know
Mhm.
how the financial rails work within the banks, and it's very, very bad, especially globally. If you want to like administer like a competition that distributes rewards on a weekly basis to all these countries around the world, it's impossible to do
Mhm.
on Web2 Rails. So that's the reason why we're doing it on Web3, is to actually run this kind of pro like esports tier to efficiently administer rewards globally.
And so rewards, you'd be talking like NFTs or
Um,
cryptocurrencies or something like that.
yeah, it would be our native token. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Very
yeah,
good. Very good. Yeah. Sounds pretty good. So I mean, yeah, the kind of the hardcore ones who are into it might kind of want to do Web3 and be more competitive and
yeah,
you know either make money or even just bragging rights, I suppose, for doing
exactly,
so
exactly.
well. So what is your favorite part of the game so far? Obviously I'd say you've kind of, as you said, you've opened up to everyone. So there's
Hmm.
bound to have been a massive learning curve as you went,
Hmm.
with all the people playing it at once.
Yeah,
What has been the standout kind of moment for you?
the standout moment. So it actually happened like 2 years ago,
Hmm.
when we first opened up our alpha test, and it's been a series of these moments like over time. But it was just the first incident that this happened. It was really like this was so cool, where people we saw people learn machine learning concepts within a day of playing our game, and they were
Wow.
teaching other people, but they didn't even know they were learning about it, right? Like, they were just explaining to someone else, and I remember I talked to, my team, and I was like, "I don't think they know, like, they're, like, giving, like, a lesson on machine learning right now." But it was something like, as simple as balancing your data set, right? So, for example, they only showed their AI what to do on the left side, and so their
Mhm.
AI wouldn't know what to do on the right side because it only learns what you show it in specific situations. And they were explaining this concept to someone with no like machine learning jargon. They were explaining in plain English, but just and they had no machine learning background. They were just
Yeah.
playing the game, learning how to play, and they figured out what works, what doesn't work, and they were able to kind of convey this supposedly complex topic in a very simple manner, which was like insane.
It shows you're definitely doing something right then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, somebody was, I can't remember, it was a famous philosopher, someone said, you know, if you can explain, so if you can't explain something in simple terms, you don't fully understand it. So
Absolutely.
amazing. Apart from your own game, what would be on your downtime? What would be kind of your go-to? What do you crash on the couch with?
Oh man, you the cop out is like platform
You can
fighting
give me a
games. Like,
list. You can give me a list. It's fine.
I mostly, if I'm playing a game, it's honestly platform fighting games.
Yeah.
So like I actually really like Rivals of Aether a lot, and Smash Bros. Like those are my two go-to ones. I've
Yeah.
experimented with Brawlhalla and a few others, but I've just been like a fighting game fanatic for the longest time. Back in the day, I used to play like Dragon Ball Z a lot as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's like the genre I kind of stick to. Other than that, I really enjoy like just 3D platformers like
Hmm.
collectathons. Um, but I would say at the top, it's platform fighting games.
Well, that makes sense. Makes sense. Is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you had to, if you gun to your head and somebody said you need to make a different style of game, but the same, involve machine learning, involve AI, and teaching as you go. Any ideas what you'd try to do?
Oh, we do. We have some in the pipeline. I don't know if I should say. I don't
Okay.
know if I should say. Just keep watching out, and then you might see one in the future.
Well, I'm trying to think now what it would fit. Like it's always very complicated.
Yeah,
Anything
it's not
that's
easy.
anything that's kind of step by step, I suppose, would be a good game. I mean, you
Yeah,
could do a
but
platformer. Yeah.
you could do a platform. We thought about that, but so the challenge is it won't be as addicting if it's not PvP. Like if
Mm.
it's like a platformer is like basically player versus environment, right? It's not addicting because um the environment's not improving, right?
Yeah.
The reason why PvP is addicting is because as you are improving your AI, your friends are improving them at the same time. So if you start
Yes. It's
slacking,
evolving.
exactly,
Yeah.
theirs is going to evolve at a much faster pace, and you're going to be like just dropping on the leaderboard, right?
Gotcha.
That's the key there. And so you have to think about how to structure like a game in like with that in mind. You know what I mean?
So I think you're letting it slip now. It's going to be Fortnite. That's what I'm hearing.
Have not said anything.
No, you've not said it. You've not said it. You've not said it. With the way everything is progressing, do you see like I mean we've got new graphics engines coming out. We've got
Mm,
although we've got one that's dying, Unity, which that was terrible news I just read.
yeah, yeah,
That's not going to end well, but yeah, do you see improvements? So, I mean, your game is very much about the mechanics of everything.
yeah,
It's very kind of technical, breaking it down.
yeah.
But would you look at as the tech evolves, maybe at the graphics? You might get more realistic characters. You might go
Mm,
for more interactive backgrounds, or are
mm.
you? I suppose you really have to keep it focused on the learning bit at the
Yeah, yeah. I would say focus on the learning bit. A few comments there. So I wouldn't say we would go realistic per se.
Mhm.
I personally like the more cartoony vibe, and I think a lot of our team does. And so it's more playful, right? And that's
Yeah,
kind of what we want to go for is this more playful vibe. Yeah, that's certainly like our yeah what we're gunning for. The other thing to keep in mind is that we're running this game in browser, and so from a resource management perspective, it's a lot more difficult than an executable thing that you download. And by the way, the reason why we want to go in the browser is because we want to make it just as accessible as possible to everyone on the planet, basically.
yeah,
And so with that, there are certain constraints in terms of like how much you can push. Like for example, like how much memory like the browser has, right? Like how much
mhm,
of like the assets it can store there, how high poly these assets can be, which is a lot less than a lot of the other games that you're able to download on your computer.
yeah,
So with that in mind, we honestly we like the cartoony look anyway. It fits very well. And so we're
yeah,
probably going to go with those types of games moving forward, really focus on mechanics.
yeah,
Personally, for myself, I care a lot more about mechanics than I do like 4K visuals. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And yeah, because ultimately, like we won't be able to compete on solely graphics compared to a lot of the AAA studios. It's just not realistic. And so where we can differentiate is giving users a very unique experience.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I agree. Yeah, I mean, it if you're looking for, see, look at the Mortal Kombat's and stuff, and it's all about
Yeah,
the blood and the gore and stuff. It takes away from actually the game,
definitely.
and with PvP in particular, yeah, you
Yeah.
really just want to focus on the fight.
Yeah.
Is there any like kind of leaderboard? Because obviously, yeah, bragging rights would be a huge deal for anyone who's doing well at the game. So is there some
Yeah.
sort of leaderboard where you can see who's kind of cream of the crop and who's not doing so well?
There is, but we kind of gate it within the game. So
Mhm.
right now it's not public. We could make it
Yeah.
public, but yeah, right now it's just within the closed beta. If you come into our game, we have like this area called the locker room, and the locker room has like a screen where it shows like the whole leaderboard.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. And do you can see everyone on the leaderboard,
Yeah,
what position you're in.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not sure I'd like that. I'd like the top ones maybe, but see how far away I am from them, perhaps.
Yeah, see like position like 1,000. No, I'm
Yeah.
sure you do well.
um, and just kind of on that as well, I've maybe two more questions. So just before I get into them, I'll just say to any viewers at home, if you like this content, please like and subscribe to the channel, click the notifications button, and all that lovely stuff. And of course, please do follow Brandon and his YouTube channel. It's very good. It's very very good actually. I put it on. Some of the episodes are very long and very detailed because that's what you need them to be. And it's great to kind of have on, and it really kind of keeps you alert when you're watching. Yeah, two things. So I suppose we're talking about bragging rights. We're talking about characters. How good are you at the game?
Don't mean to
Are you
brag.
guy?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Um, yeah, no, I'm all right. I I don't know if I'm better than no, there's certainly people in our community that are better than me, for
Okay,
sure.
good.
But I would say probably top 1-ish%. I can probably
Wow.
if I dedicate my time, but the problem okay, here's the problem, is that every time I try competing, people start reporting bugs, and I was like, "Oh, well, I have to fix these bugs now," so
I've
they
I
take
have to
away
go do
from
some work. Yeah.
exactly, I have to do some work. They're over there training for, like, 6 hours a day, and I have to code all day. So
Wow.
that's the big problem. I can't really dedicate my time to that.
Definitely not making excuses. Definitely just too
No,
busy.
no.
Just too
Exactly,
busy.
exactly. I might dedicate, like, a week to this eventually once we launch and
Yeah.
just try and see where I can score.
See if you can stay on the top for a while. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And then just kind of getting into the character nitty gritty. Like, can a user have more than one character, or are you kind of resigned to you have the one and you can start again, and you can build up,
Mm,
or can you have multiple in your kind of can be a team, a little roster
yeah,
of Pauls and Brandons?
yeah, you can have more than one character, yep.
Wow, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a time dedication, absolutely. But
Definitely,
I,
definitely.
and do you notice that? Do you see there's a lot of the community who are kind of doing a new playthrough with kind of a brand new and starting again and but keeping the old one. I mean, I imagine
Yeah,
I would. I'd feel like I'd made mistakes and I'd probably want to, oh, now that I've learned more, I'll probably go, okay, I'm going to do a new build. I'm going to start again. I'm going to go plain
mm,
and I'm going to do this, this, and this. Do
yeah,
you see
so
much of that?
a couple things there. First, I'd note that with your character, you can actually reset it. We have like a
Yeah.
reset button to reset it, so you can
Yeah,
do
but
that with just
if
one character.
if
Or
I
you're
love
scared
them
to
though,
mess it up?
it's like killing my characters. Like, I might like him, but still want
Yeah.
to start a new one
That
with all
that's
that I've
fair, that's
learned.
fair. That's fair. We also allow people to, like, kind of, like, finalize, and if you reset it and you don't like it, you can restore it back to what it was,
Ah,
but
okay.
with that said, I completely get it. Sometimes you love this thing, let's make
Yeah.
another one. We have found people do that. It actually, since we're still in, like, playtesting stage, what we wanna do is test, like, balance of the
Yeah.
game, and so, one of the key areas of potential imbalance is the weight of the character, right? Because the
Mm,
weight will, basically, we derive some attributes from the weight, such as, like, the power, the speed, so on and so forth. And so for the longest time, there was, like, a heavyweight meta where, people were just, like, they dominated with, like, the heaviest fighter,
the
right?
tanks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what we wanted to do is, like, allow people to test different types of weights. So what we did is we gave everyone a very heavy fighter, a middleweight fighter, and then a lightweight fighter. And so they would
Gotcha.
train them each independently and kind of like see how they perform. Actually, the other week, a few people went to number one on the leaderboard with the lightest, which
Yeah.
was very exciting for us because everyone was shitting on us saying that the lightweight doesn't do well, but they finally broke through
They
the
proved
meta,
it.
which was yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So last thing, is there anything you want to promote? Do you have a launch date? Do you have any upcoming updates or
Mm.
uh, where can we find you? Where can we go?
Yeah, for sure. I think the two places to find us is Twitter and Discord. I would
Mhm.
say certainly follow us on Twitter and join our Discord just to keep updated with things. In terms of like what's next, this thing. And so in order to reduce that, hopefully that takes a couple months. Of course, you can still join the game and like play it, but you
Yeah.
might need a little bit of help from some of our OGs. If you
Mhm.
want to just wait until we have the in-game tutorial, definitely follow us and keep updated, and we'll let you guys know. But that should be a couple months from now. And then in terms of launch, I would say sometime early next year is when we're planning.
Wow, very good, exciting. I look forward to it. I gotta keep
Awesome.
following you on YouTube anyway, so we'll get all the kind of updates. And on our own video, we'll absolutely stick all your links in the description below.
I
Amazing. It's been
appreciate it.
absolutely brilliant to talk today, Brandon. Thank you so
Yeah, it's
much.
been a pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's been
No
great.
worries. Thank you.